confirm real quick. Maybe your shadows for that last 9-year cycle. So if that previous part resonated, what was going on? Let's just quickly confirm in tarot your key shadows and the patterns that were your spirit guides were trying to show you and help you to break in that past cycle. And then we're gonna do guidance. Two of Swords. Two of Swords. I'm hearing as well with this, Two of Swords is about crossroad, is about decision and ability to take decisions. And we were talking about this, right? That you were sort of stuck in a place of conditioning. But I was hearing as well the heart and the mind. The Two of Swords is, right? It's the heart and the mind. It's when we lack synchronicity and we lack the connection between the heart and the mind, and understanding that everything should start from the heart, where our spirit lives, the bridge between realms, and then the mind should just be the one that helps us to execute things, to exist in this physical world, right? And yet again, my incense just completely went out. Confirmation. How possible it is that it happened 2 times with 2 incense, because it's the second one I'm burning. So you would have moments that you just lose hope, whatever, right? It's this. There's a card in this deck, we're going to do this deck as well, my emotions deck, that talks about that there's a difference between acceptance and complete dissociation. So maybe you're convincing yourself that you're just accepting things for what they are, but in reality you're just giving up to the shadow work, to the changes, to the decisions, right? So I feel like you would be trapped in that pattern of not knowing what to do. There are decisions that you feel maybe in your heart and your intuition, but then your logic mind comes into place. But what you're not understanding, because you are in distorted masculine energy, again, non-gender specific, we all have masculine and feminine within. You are in this distorted energy that thinks that if it doesn't make sense, it's because it shouldn't happen. You would be someone who prioritized the brain and not the heart. Wounded masculine. Wounded masculine energy forces us to do that. Especially when you're a female. It's such an important thing to heal that, to be guided by your heart. For men as well. I feel that they're really wanting you to break this pattern of, you feel something in your intuition, you feel something isn't right, you feel where you should go towards, what you should leave behind, but then it's your mind. But what you're not knowing, this is how it happens, you guys. When we are healed, right, it's the masculine and the feminine within. It's what I always talk to you guys about. It's the inner union, the divine inner union within of the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the one that I always, there's a link in my bio to my website, and in a Divine Love section, there's so many articles about this, and if you want to learn more, you can go ahead and read that. But when we are healed, when we are whole, right, everything starts from the feminine. Internally as well. The feminine energy is the creation, is the initiation, is the spark, right? So that comes from the heart, because the heart is the bridge, is the bridge between the worlds, the upper chakras, the spiritual chakras, and the physical chakras, the lower chakras. It's the bridge, right? So when we're healed, we feel something in our heart, in our intuition, right? And the heart is where we hold our consciousness. We're guided. This is how we raise our vibration and raise the vibration of everything around us, right? So when we're healed, the heart knows, the heart understands, the heart sends the guidance, because it's a receptor from that voice from beyond the veil, right? And it sends a signal to the mind. And when we are healed, when we're whole, when we've released our ego, we fully understand the role of the mind. And when we understand the role of the mind, we know that the mind should follow the lead. The mind is the masculine, should follow the lead of the feminine. Similarly, in a relationship, in a divine union, this is how it works. The feminine sends a signal to the masculine, because the signal comes from connection to spirit. And the masculine receives it, because the masculine is the one that operates in the physical plane, right? So it's a tool. It's a tool that once you've taken a decision, that masculine element will trust that decision, will trust that guidance, will trust, because the masculine, healed masculine knows that the feminine knows things from beyond the veil. So I have to trust it because I only have outcome on the things that are in the physical plane. So then it takes that decision and it just executes it, right? But when we are wounded, we lack that connection. We are in inner conflict between our mind and the heart, between our masculine and our feminine, right? Teachings of Mary Magdalene. When we truly are wounded, right? The masculine and the feminine within are in conflict. And when they are in conflict, which is your pattern right now, the feminine sends a signal. The feminine, the intuition, the inner knowing, the heart sends a signal. Don't do it. Or do it. That's the right path. That's the right way. But then the mind, when it's wounded, the mind is the ego. The mind thinks that I am the ruler here. That if it's not logical, it's just stupid. It's also something that we're fed by the distorted matrix that we live in for exactly that purpose, to disconnect us from source. So the mind then goes like, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make no sense. Feelings, who cares? Like feelings, I have to think logically. But the mind doesn't understand that the mind is never connected directly. The masculine is never connected directly to source. The mind was born in the physical world that is ruled by conditioning. The mind is subconsciously programmed by society, by culture, by religion, by family conditioning, by fear. The mind disconnected from the spirit, from the heart, from the feminine, is nothing, is lost, is shallow. So when you lack that connection, there's a signal sent, but then the mind, sometimes it ignores, sometimes it doesn't, but it have to make sense from it, because there's no synergy between the masculine and feminine. There's no inner union between the masculine and feminine. So the mind doesn't trust. The mind doesn't understand that I am just a servant here, right? It's the masculine and the feminine. The feminine is the spiritual leader, whether that's internally or in an external divine union connection, soulmate connection, twin soul connection. When we are in union, it's the feminine that is the intuition, the connection to spirit, the connection to God, the messenger of God. And it sends soft guidance. The feminine is always quiet, always comes in peace and silence. It's soft. It never forces, it never pushes. But when it is in union with the masculine is wise enough to know I am the ruler of the physical world. So I will decide the how and the when and the execution. But I will follow the lead of the feminine, because I know that the feminine is my connection to God. That's something that you still need to understand. A pattern that you still need to break. What else? What? We have the Hermit. We have the Hermit and we have King of Cups. I'm going to do one more and I'll tell you what I'm hearing for the shadows. Key shadows. I feel disconnected temperance. I feel, unfortunately, again, whether you want to accept it or not, you are ruled by your masculine energy. And, you know, it's so sad in the world of today that women don't even realize that. 80% of women, if not more, are ruled by the masculine energy because we're conditioned to do it, because we live in a wounded, patriarchal, masculine world that tells us that masculine energy, the mind, the brain, everything that I explained to you guys, it's superior, and it's not true. It's far away from the truth. Right? So women are ruled by their masculine energy, and that makes them disconnected. It's like, yes, I have heart and I have emotions, but you're not listening. You're not fully connected to it. You're not embracing it. You're ashamed of it, ashamed to cry, ashamed to be vulnerable, right? Ashamed to admit that I was hurt, right? there is unfortunately lack of true emotional maturity within this collective. You're numbing your emotions. You're not using them. Emotions, I always say this to you guys, they are our compass on a journey of alignment. We're supposed to listen to them, feel them in our bodies, learn to link them to where they come from, to the root cause, to the source of that emotion that is always either love or fear. We're going to do my oracle deck because I designed it especially for that. There's half of these cards are shadow side, half of these cards are side of light. Because every emotion, it goes down to love or fear, light or shadow. We'll never understand it if we don't sit down to understand these emotions within us. You lack emotional maturity, whether you want to accept it or not. Again, you know that here, this channel, my readings, they're not here for you guys to like and comment and share so I can be successful. I couldn't care less. My life's mission is to help you to understand your shadows. This channel is for people who want to grow, who want to accept. Someone who wants to grow wants feedback. We polish that mirror all the time so we can see the littlest thing. Because ultimately we learn that when we start to accept our shadows, shadow work is so hard, it's so painful, it's so difficult. But when we start to power through it, our lives becomes better, brighter. It's a life of peace, acceptance, love, wholeness. I feel this collective, you're refusing to really go inwards. I feel for this collective, this last 9-year cycle, it would have been rough. It would have been rough because I feel like there are certain patterns. What do I always say to you guys? Patterns are difficult for most people to see because they repeat themselves in completely different situations, completely different settings with completely different people. But when we're not seeing certain patterns that we're repeating subconsciously, conditioning, autopilot, shadows, source hits us, our higher self hits us with harsher lessons for a reason. Not to punish us, but to help us to finally see there's no other way. If you're not seeing, especially when you're completely disconnected from the heart, there's no other way for your higher self to communicate with you, but to send you things so you can finally comprehend. The worst and the worst partner, the worst breakup, the worst pain, so you can finally see. I feel it's been harsh for you this past cycle because they want you to go inwards. There are certain patterns, be it generational patterns or patterns that you're repeating because of the wounds that you haven't healed, that you have to notice, but you will never notice them if you do not go inwards. I've explained this in my yesterday's reading. When we awaken, and I mean the conscious awakening, I don't mean the Kundalini awakening, I mean the awakening that everyone has the power to go through. The opening of the consciousness, the spiral goes inwards. We have to go inwards, deeper and deeper and deeper, and dig deeper and try to polish that mirror to truly heal. You're not looking into the mirror. I think this collective, you were stuck in the past 9 years, you were stuck in a pattern of pointing the blame towards other people. Watch the previous parts so it makes sense. The ex, he made me act like that. He pushed me to react that way. He pushed me to scream. He pushed me to be... No. No one has the power to make you feel. We can only externalize and feel and react according to what we have within. If you've healed completely your aggression, understanding that aggression comes from powerless and a feeling of grief, you no longer have it. You don't have it in you. To yell, to scream, to punch, to to be jealous, no, you don't have it in you. No one can trigger that. No one can trigger something that is tamed within you, that is healed within you. No one. We have 2 tens, which is actually, yes, confirmation. Confirmation you're sitting in your masculine energy. Not only you're sitting in your masculine energy, but your inner masculine energy is distorted. And you're refusing to see that. You're refusing to heal that. This collective, you would have a deep misunderstanding of what true masculinity is about. If you feel that it's like if the penny drops, as I said that, again, you can go to my website, and in Divine Love section there's a description. These articles really talk about masculine and feminine energy within and externally, the inner union, the yin yang, the flow, right? I feel that the last 9-year cycle was designed by your spirit team, by your guides, to really push you to close certain things, to really push you to remove certain things, to step away from certain things. But I feel that for a very long time you were refusing, and it's also because I was hearing with this 10 of Swords that you were refusing because I feel you were hoping that certain things in your life could just end quietly and painlessly, right? So maybe if you had a family with this person, you had children with this person, you thought that one day the children were sort of a grow up and you'll be able just to quietly move away from each other, and right, and but no, the spirit didn't want to wait. It wasn't on your timeline to wait. So certain things happen, and then it means that it's pain, right? Sometimes you cannot avoid the pain, you cannot avoid the disruption, the tower moment, but you're still carrying these burdens. And you will carry these burdens till the end of your days if you do not decide to go inwards and really heal. I feel this collective with that 5 of Swords as well. Remember we said this when we were talking about the karma and the legal issues, right? There is something within you that it's like it wants to win, wants to be right? Wants to have the final say, wants to... When we truly, again, when we heal, we accept what needs to come. So we're like, if it has to happen, let it happen. I want to feel the pain. Let the disruption happen. Let the whole world burn to the ashes so I can rebuild, right? But you're not surrendering to this path. There's a bit of that I want to... I don't know how to describe this. I'm feeling into it. Maybe you know what I mean. If it's a right collective, you don't want to feel it fully. You sort of want to leave through the back door, right? Do you know what I mean? Leave through the back door, not feel the pain completely, not allow the disruption to happen completely, not allow everyone to see the destruction. All right, you guys, let's then do guidance. Let's start from the emotions. I want to sort of feel into what emotions you're guided to. Maybe not necessarily just release, but learn about to truly understand. Let's do 4 cards maybe. What's the message for this collective? It's interesting. That's interesting, and there's a reason maybe it was enough of tough love for today. There's a reason I said not necessarily what you need to release, but what you need to learn about, because all your emotions that came through are from a side of light. So maybe there are just certain things that you need to understand, that there's still a misconception within you, what it really means, right? All right, so we have resilience and number 20. And it sort of makes sense because what I was hearing immediately when I pulled this card, the resilience card, is that because you are sitting in your distorted masculine energy, you would want to be strong instead, strong and powerful. But it's completely different than resilience. What we truly need, what is coming from a side of light, is resilience. Resilience is true strength. It's the ability to bounce back to your true and authentic self after any challenge. Resilience means not allowing pain and difficulties to change your essence, but to help you grow. When we are resilient, we know we will rise up from any situation. We don't fear to be vulnerable, to take chances. We don't fear to take risks. We are anchored in who we are, so we always return to our original blueprint. When we are wounded, we confuse our thick armor with resilience and strength. Avoiding challenges, locking our hearts, and staying on shallow level of life doesn't mean we are strong. Remember, only those who feel fear and face challenges have true strength. And I was hearing something specific for this collective. I feel because you're refusing to fully go inwards, to fully heal, to fully face the shadows, the reason for your mistakes that are truly just life lessons, right? Everything that we've mentioned in a previous part. I've talked about this, I feel, in my recent video about shadow work. Last week, I've given you guys this self-work exercise to do some shadow work. And I've mentioned this, that we constantly change. It's inevitable. Everybody changes. I don't care what anyone says. Everybody changes. It's just that this change depends on whether we learn life's lessons, go inwards, to then go towards the expansion, or we armor up. So when we understand resilience, we understand that resilience means that you know yourself, you know your essence. No matter what happens, you're going to allow this tower and this disruption to happen, because you know you're going to take your learnings and bounce back into yourself better and stronger. When we don't follow that sort of a path, experiences that we go through, they close us, they armor us up. And the example I always give to you guys is love. When someone understands the first pattern, you go through a breakup, you cry, you're sad, you close yourself in your house, you grieve that love, right? But then deep down, you know that this too shall pass. I will love again, right? And then you just take the lessons and your heart is even more open. But when you don't understand that mechanism and you go towards armoring up, you think your ego says to you that I've learned my lessons. But in reality, what happened, you didn't learn your lessons. You armored up. And this goes to people that after a relationship that was harmful, hurtful, abusive, painful, whatever that was, you were cheated on, you were abandoned. Instead of learning your lesson that goes inwards, what within me made me choose this partner? I want to learn, so the next partner that I will choose will be better. But you go towards armoring up. You blame love, you blame this person, you blame men, you blame women. Now I'm going to be stronger. Now I'm going to be wiser. Now I will never allow that, because I will, for example, never live with someone or never get married or never this and that, right? Armor. It's not resilience. It's not strength. It's armor. It's thickening your armor because you're too afraid to face what really happened in this situation and in this lesson. We have receptiveness as well, and they came through together. And receptiveness is about fully opening to what life has to offer, right? Receptiveness is the opposite for armoring up. So with these two cards, it's a message for you. Make sure you're not armoring up. You're not closing to the experience of life. When we truly learn lessons, we always open. That's the whole point. When we truly go inwards to learn the lessons and we reach that very deep point within ourselves to understand that shadow and a root cause, the only way is it's to expand. It's to open even more. It's to expand our consciousness. But when we do not, and we refuse to go inwards, we operate on a shallow level of that spiral. And we repeat cycles. Different person, different setting, different situation. And all we do is we armor up, we clam up. We have soul and connection. Two beautiful cards, number 1 and number 3. Maybe that's significant. First of the third, third of the first. Birthday, significant gate. Maybe you're living in a, it just saw like literally a gate with number like 3, 1 or 13, 31. And this is about what I've already explained to you guys. The heart, which is the connection to the soul, the eternal essence, our spirit, and the mind, the ego. The one that wants to be the puppet master and hold the reins. When our ego is in control to any extent, we struggle to detach from passage of time. We obsess with what will and won't happen. Understand this, ultimately life is just a sandbox game. It doesn't matter what happens as long as we accept it all, learn from it, and thrive in it. And it is the ultimate truth of life. You need to go more towards your soul, towards things that are meaningless, not meaningless to the ego, but towards the things that I always teach you guys this, right? When you want to take a decision, when you think of something, when you feel like something matters, the question is, does it matter to the soul or does it matter to the ego? You have to start to see the difference. To ever be able to build that union within the two, the masculine and the feminine within, the heart and the mind, the soul and the ego, you have to understand the difference between the two fully. And we have connection. It may be a detail. It's something that we were talking about in the shadow work as well. When we are wounded, the shadow of separation makes us believe that we are experiencing life in solitude, that no one can understand us and what we go through. Remember, when we're truly connected, we always see ourselves in another. I feel this collective, you, remember we had that first card that we pulled for you. That you feel that you are unheard and understood and seen, that what you went through perhaps, right? That people will never know. People are not supposed to know. That's the whole point. That's the whole part of life. You have to be the one to hold you, to validate your feelings, to validate your experiences, to see you, to acknowledge you, to understand you. It's you. It's all about you. And I am hearing as well this mechanism of, maybe you have moments of saying that what I've been through, nobody understands, so what's the point talking about it? It's not true. I always say this to you guys. Collectives are the biggest proof of that. We all go through same experiences, right? This is why we all have core shadows. Mother wound, father wound, inner childhood, inner child, right? Traumas. Abandonment, rejection, betrayal. We all carry these wounds. Sister wound, healer wound. We all carry these wounds to a different extent, for different patterns, for different experiences. We all carry these wounds. We all go through similar experiences. Nothing is truly, when it comes to you, this is the whole point. You as a soul, you are an authentic, you have authentic, unique frequency. Right? The whole point of life is to discover that and allow it to glow and to shine. You're unique, right? But what you go through are repetitive patterns. It's a program of a game, right? It is a sandbox game. It is true. It is a sandbox game. There's a limited amount of options that us as humans, we can go through, and we all go through the same. It's going to be different woman, different man, different setting. But you're gonna go through it's all same. This nonsense, constant attempt for people to make other think that what I've been through, no one's been through, nobody knows the struggle I've been. It's just not true. It's just not true. All right, guidance for this collective. What do you need to embody more? What do you need to release? I'm hearing as well. The frog. The frog is about healing. The frog is about soothing. I'm sort of guided to read through that frog to you, so that's what we're gonna do. But I I did hear a little bit